Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fit IT Guy. I have this trailer hitch here from Tilliard. You can save 25% off on Tilliard.com. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to install this trailer hitch. Save yourself the $1,000 Tesla charges from the factory, or save yourself the $1,300 to get the tow hitch installed after the fact. You can do it yourself for about $250 with my discount code and save yourself all that money. So first thing we're going to do is just back our car up onto some wheel ramps here. It's not absolutely necessary to have the wheel ramps, but it will allow your rear bumper to go down a little lower when you unscrew the rear bumper. So now we're going to go ahead and go down underneath the car. We have a bunch of 10mm bolts here. We're just going to take our impact gun and unbolt all of these. As you can see, there's quite a bit here. If you have mud flaps installed, you will have to actually take them off to access the area there around the mud flaps. So there's these two little latches here that hide two more 10mm bolts. And then for the actual tow hitch cover, you can just use a flathead screwdriver, a big one, turn it a quarter of the way counterclockwise, and then you can pull the cover right off. So then we're going to go to the wheel well liner here, and you don't need to unclip the whole wheel well liner. You just only need to unclip the back portion to access this 10mm bolt here. And then once that's out, we are off to the back of the trunk. We're going to take off this carpet cover here. But first we're going to pull out the trunk seal. Just be careful, there is some grease underneath the trunk seal. Let's talk about what really transforms a Tesla's cabin from sleek to premium. These are the all-weather floor liners from 3W Liners, made for the new 2026 Model Y Juniper, and I've just installed them in my 2025 Model 3 Highland as well. Now, 3W is celebrating their holiday sale. Scan the QR code on the screen to learn more. If you order through the link below, you'll get up to 35% off on the official website and up to $50 off on Amazon. Don't miss out on these limited time offers. These aren't just generic mats, they're engineered from 3D scans of your exact floor layout, delivering a glove-like, edge-to-edge fit that locks in place and stays put. Don't let rain, snow, or spilled coffee ruin that premium look. These liners are made of TPE, completely waterproof, built to withstand extreme temperatures from -40 to 176 degrees Fahrenheit, so they won't crack, warp, or let anything seep through. Cleanup, a total breeze. Whether it's mud, sand, dog hair, or spills, just rinse the water or wipe with a damp cloth, and you're back to spotless in minutes. But here's what impresses me the most. No weird smells. The non-toxic, odorless TPE material keeps things fresh even under heat. Perfect for both my Model Y Juniper and my Model 3 Highland. And honestly, they elevate the interior and make it look even more refined than stock and way more premium. So whether it's protecting daily errands or outdoor adventures, or just wanting your Tesla's interior to feel as premium as the ride itself, 3W's all-weather floor mats are built to perform and look good doing it. Check them out at 3wliners.com. With my code, FITITGUY, you'll save a limited time 35% off on 3W liners. 3W offers premium custom fit floor liners for Tesla models such as the Model Y, X, S, and 3, as well as the Cybertruck. 3W also provides high-quality liners for a wide range of electric vehicles and other vehicles as well, to prevent squeaking, so you might get your hands a little dirty with the grease there. So pulling the carpet cover off now. Just a few clips. Next, we're going to use our trim removal tool to take off a couple of these plastic bump stops there. And we're pulling the seal open a little bit more to give us access. Basically, we're going to take off this black plastic piece. And now we just have to get our fingers under there and pull it open. There's just a couple adhesive strips holding it onto the trunk there. And then we have one more 10mm bolt on each side. And we're going to do the same thing on this side here. Pull off the 2 bump stops. Peel open the seal, and we'll go ahead and get our fingers under this one. This one had a little extra tape on it. So it was a little bit harder to pull open, but there we go. You can actually see the tape adhesive strips there. And another 10mm bolt here. Now there's these 2 black clips that you can see, or tabs, and you just have to pull the bumper over those tabs. That loosens it. And then we can go over to the wheel well liner here. I'll pull it open a little bit more to give us some room to grab. And then we can kind of just wedge our fingers in underneath. And we're just trying to separate the bumper. There's clips holding in the bumper from the rear quarter panel there. So you can start to see some of these clips coming off. There's some clips that some tabs insert into. So just remember this when we're putting it back in. It's actually way easier to put the bumper on than to take it off, or I found it to be way quicker. So, but I was really surprised with how easy it was to remove this rear bumper. I've removed the bumpers off cars before. It was definitely a lot more of a headache than this car was. This was my first time taking a bumper off of a Tesla as well. So I was expecting it to be a lot more complicated, but it was actually pretty simple. So we're just lifting slightly up on the bumper to get the tabs to release over the clips there. And we're just going around the car, like I said, nice and easily. We're not forcing anything, just very light. Yeah, once the tabs clear the plastic of the bumper there, then we know we're getting close. And just gonna go around to the rest of the car, bringing it down from the bottom on both sides as well. We're gonna have to get under the car shortly to separate the bottom plastic from the panels underneath the car here. And you can see I'm just separating the plastic now. These 2 pieces are actually attached together. Those aren't going to come off, but where I'm putting my hand right now, you can kind of just pull from there. It's going to separate the bumper out a little bit more. What's nice about this tow hitch install is you don't actually have to fully take off the bumper. You can kind of just rest it on the ground without fully disconnecting every single panel, because we only need to access the crash bar in the back to get the hitch there. So you can see I'm just pulling a little bit more. I'm not forcing anything, but just feeling some separation, and there we go. The rear bumper is fully separated from the car now, except for the bottom plastic panels there. So we can see all the connectors here. We're just going to go ahead and grab this connector pair there, and you don't have to unplug it. You can just pull it from the car itself. And kind of just leave it resting, because again, like I said, we're not going to fully take the bumper off. We're just lowering it down into the ground, which is where the wheel ramps come in handy. And going ahead and unscrewing, there's 3 bolts on each side holding in the rear crash bar. So the rear crash bar is a silver metal piece that is also attached to the black mounting plate. And basically what happens is the hitch kind of just sits between the car and the metal crash bracket. So you'll see that in a second, but just getting rid of the last of the bolts here. Taking it off the car now. Like I said, this was such an easy install. I was so surprised. I was expecting it to take, 2 to 3 hours. I think it didn't even take a full hour. The total video file for this video was about 50 minutes with, with some extra stuff as well. So I think this really took me about 45 minutes. You can see the hitch just goes on like that over these studs, and it kind of holds itself up. And then we just have to remount this crash bracket right over the studs there. Guys, this was such an easy install. This was such an easy install. It took me 45 minutes. I think you could knock it out in 30 after watching this video. And just putting everything back together now. The 6 bolts there, like I said, and then tightening them up. You definitely want to make sure these are tight. I don't have the torque values off the top of my head, but you can definitely get them from the service manual. And just double check your wires. I noticed when I took off the bumper here, this one connector came out, so I made sure it went back in. Pretty sure that's one of the connectors for a tail light or something, or maybe one of the rear sensors. So you definitely don't want to have any errors, and make sure everything's working before you clip it all back together. So putting that connector back where it was on the back of the car. And we're basically just going to lift the bumper up, clear the crash bar there. And then it's kind of just going to hold itself up. Push it in, we can hear a few clicks. And then the rest of this part is just getting everything to click and clip back in. So we have all these tabs here that need to slot into those holes for the bumper. So you're just going to be hearing a lot of clicks. You can see the left side kind of already went in by itself for the most part. It was so simple, guys, to do this install. I was surprised. You can see those black tabs, they didn't fully seat into the clip yet. So just going in and pushing everything, and I figured let me go to the right side to get that all in before I try to work on the left side some more. And we can see here I'm lifting up the bumper to clear the black plastic tabs and trying to get everything even. Even this side wasn't hard, even though it didn't go in right away. I'm just playing around with it here just to make sure everything goes in nicely. I'm not putting too much force on anything. I think it's actually really hard to damage one of these bumpers when I look back at it now. So we're just going to push in, and you can hear everything click. The tabs are clicking into the holes there between the bumper and the quarter panel. Just like that. Boom, ton of clicks. If you see any gaps, you can just push on it. And as we get that top piece closer, it's going to close up that gap. And there we go, pushing everything in more. And believe it or not, you are fully done with the rear bumper. We just have to put the 2 bolts in over here. And then there were 2 more bolts on the wheel well liner. There we go, just like that. We're going to put these black plastic pieces back in. They still have plenty of adhesive on them, so they stuck right back in with no issues. And then we'll put the 2 black plastic tabs back into the spot as well. I just was conscious of the orientation of them. As you can see, they're thicker on one side than the other. So I took a mental image of that before I took them off so that I could put them back in the same way. Haven't had any issues with the trunk closing or anything. And there we go, just like that. Now we're putting the seal back on. Actually, I got a little ahead of myself here. I put the whole seal back on. Leave the bottom portion off still because we do have to put that carpet piece back over the tabs. And just making sure the seal's perfectly on there, that it's perfectly even on both sides. It kind of really just fits right in. It's so simple again. And this is where I realized I needed to take the bottom part of the seal off to get this carpet piece back in. And there's just a few clips on this carpet piece. You just push it down. Very satisfying click noises. Closing the trunk, make sure everything closes fine. And then reopening it, I'm going to test it one more time just to verify. I always like to test these things before I fully button everything back up. There we go. I noticed my tail lights weren't coming on, but when I opened the door, they did come on. So you can see there the taillights came on. I was testing it, so I actually looked back at the camera footage to make sure they turned on because I was worried about that connector that came loose before. So now we're just bolting everything back in, basically. Pretty quick, especially if you have an impact drill. If not, you'll be using a socket wrench for a lot of this, but it is possible. It just takes a little bit longer. And my battery is pretty low here. I forgot to charge the drill, so it's going a little slower than usual. Popping in the cover just to make sure everything looks even and fits properly after the tow hitch install. So here the tow hitch actually has a nut that will hold whatever you're putting into the tow hitch tightly. I have a bicycle rack that fits so loose on every car I've ever put it on, and it rattles. So this is the first tow hitch I've ever had that has this bolt here. So I'm just loosening it right now to actually fit something into the tow hitch receiver. So I'm going to put my bike rack here, and you're going to see how it rattles when I first put it in. And then I'm going to tighten this nut after, and when I tighten it, you're going to see how much the nut prevents the bike hitch from, the bike rack from rattling. Okay, so we're putting the bike rack in here and just fitting it in. And then we're going to put the pin here for the tow hitch to lock it into place. And you can see how beaten up the bike rack is from all the rattling it's done on all my previous cars. So there we go, locking it in, and here you can hear the rattle. Let's see how much it's moving. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that bolt here. And when I tighten it, you can see the after difference. Huge difference. It doesn't even move anymore. And that's a big, big deal. So we took our car off the ramps here and just playing around with the bike rack. I'm going to set it up as if I was going to actually put some bikes on it. And we're going to get in the car and just drive around, make sure everything sounds okay, make sure everything looks okay. Taking a look at the video here, everything's fine. You can see the bike rack doesn't move one bit from the hitch receiver because of that bolt that's holding it in tight. And pretty cool with all the modifications I did on the car with how sporty it looks, seeing the bike rack on the back. It's just a pretty cool sight to see, to be honest. So this was a pretty quick and easy install. I really have to say, guys, I think you can knock this out 30 to 45 minutes max. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Save yourself some money, install the tow hitch yourself on a weekend, and even have a friend to help you if you want. You can save 25% off with my code TFIG on Tilliard.com. I think this is a great deal compared to what Tesla charges for the tow hitch. Specifically, I didn't want to spend $1,000 on my car when I bought it just to get a tow hitch when I don't really use it often. But for this, I figured it was a great deal. So thanks for watching and see you next time.